Hello there, this is a short video just showing a really great example for how to start your A-level photography project. This is showcasing the work from a Year 13 student whose work was started in the summer term just at the end of Year 12, and this is now being developed throughout the winter term into the coursework unit for A-level. It will have to have an essay supplement as well that goes with it. Generally for most courses that's between 1,000 and 3,000 words, but this is a really good way of starting your practical work. So hopefully it'll help you out. Any questions, please email through the channel. This little slide here is showing how my guys start, and it's just something that I suggest just to bring the examiner or moderator, whoever's looking at your work, into it to show them what your intentions are and how you intend to start. This particular student's work is based around glamour and gore. That can change and it can modify throughout the A-level investigation, but that was the student's starting point. And as you can see here, loads of examples have been shown, loads of ideas have been put down, which the examiners really like to see. It's really good to go back and check these as well throughout the unit and throughout your investigations, just in case you get a little bit stuck or things get a little bit stale. This next slide here is just showing the students' intentions, again just in quite diagrammatic spider mappy form, with a few thumbnails there in the top right that just show what their ideas are for starting their project. And as well as having things quite written at the start in terms of plans, spider maps, etc., it's a really good idea just to write a little supporting statement of what your intentions are. You don't need to sound like you've swallowed a dictionary, but it does help if you can outline your ideas in a very sort of literate and articulate way. On the right there, you can see where it's the 4-week plan. You don't have to do that for every single part of the work. Throughout A-level, it's not a stipulation, but it does help you to keep in check and just explain what you've been doing over that time. So it might be worthwhile for you to do that. This next image here is showing the student's mood board, which they then assemble from different printouts, all of which you could do on PowerPoint, or you could print it off and do it, etc., but this is how this particular student has chosen to put their work together. And then the annotations on the right there are just supporting some of the images that have been chosen out of the mood board and just explaining how they're relevant and what she intends to do. Then straight into the research. A lot of this can be sort of cherry picked and used in the essay response as well, but it's really good to put that research right at the start of the book so you can show your ability to research and analyze artists' work. You'll notice along the bottom that the student has included images of inspiration and influence along there, partly decoration and partly for visual links. And if you look at the research here, you'll see that it's quite in depth. They've done everything from analysing the histogram. It's not just a biography, because that can be really boring. It's got more information in terms of what they will do, how they will do it, how that impacts the work, and what the intentions are to develop the artist's idea onwards. This next page, you think, well, it might be a bit strange me showing you this, but I put it on there just to show that sometimes it is a good idea to measure out your books and measure out the different places that you're going to put work before you actually print them off. You might not be a measuring person, or you might be, but it does help to do that, and it can help you keep yourself into a routine of presentation. This is what it should look like here on this next slide, and each one of these little booklets with information and research is sort of like flapped and hinged onto the page just to then show and just to create something more tactile for the person who's reading the work, so they can sort of have a little investigation and delve through the book. These last few pages that are in there just showing again more influences, not necessarily just artists and photographers here, but then also influenced for then shaping the way that they will use makeup or props or absolutely anything, using other resources such as YouTube to find out ways of getting the desired look that she wants. This next one here is just looking at additional artists, and you don't have to keep putting them in at the start. You can put them throughout, but don't just stick to 2 or 3 artists and leave it there. That'll be like red rag to a bull for an examiner. You've got to make sure that you become reinformed and you look back and try and research new ways and avenues to develop your research. This next page here, this is not necessarily a necessity of A-level, but it's really lovely to see a student taking ownership over camera settings and not just using those automatic settings, which shouldn't really be done by anyone at A-level. It's the devil. You don't have to necessarily involve the drawing element in photography in this way, but this is how this particular student has chosen to showcase the fact that they're taking more of a pride and presence in the fact that the settings they use and how it impacts on their work. This next slide here is something that I showed to students. Really good example of how drawings are used in your work to show your ideas, but it's not necessarily the skill and quality of the drawing, it's what that drawing represents, the idea. Everybody wants to see ideas, and then how well you execute those ideas. So definitely make sure that you include drawings and plans in your work, just to make sure that you're showing that extra skill and that ability to communicate visual ideas. And this is the first set that the student has taken. Not quite finished presenting just yet, but I couldn't wait to get the video up because I thought this was a fantastic example of a start to an A-level investigation that's really going to develop and be excellent all the way through. It's got all the sort of ingredients for a good starting points page there. Raw and sort of corrected images, they've all been analysed. The settings have been talked about, even down to the little artist connection there that's on the bottom right hand side. All that is the sort of thing you should be including on your starting points pages. For the remainder of this little video here, I've just put a few really helpful slides that will hopefully give you a few pointers in the right direction. But you need to bear in mind this next one in particular, really, really important all the way through. Don't just think that what you did at AS level will be all right for A level. They want to see an advanced level response, definitely for A level. So please make sure you think about that and don't just do cut and close sets or cut and close developments. Make sure you always push yourself just that little bit further to see what else you can get from a set. This little thing on the screen here might help you with that. Not just me going on about Pinterest again, as I normally do, just my love affair with Pinterest. But if you can do, get yourself on there. Make some boards, print them off. It's dead simple, and then stick them in your book. If you annotate them, it's easy marks, and it's a good way for you to start generating and developing ideas sooner. This image here is just showing the assessment objectives that, if you're doing AQA, are going to be incredibly relevant to you. It's hard enough for teachers to apply the criteria in the marking, but just make sure you're aware what you need to be doing and be checking to see at every single point whether your work is doing that or not. This last slide is what I give to my students to show what they should be doing in the work and how they should be developing their ideas if they want to access those top level marks. I hope this video has been of help to you. Any questions, like I say, please email. Goodbye.